Max from SGS here. Today we're going over Tiny Tin Tactics, a solo action game meant to be played in under 20 minutes. Let's get right into it by cracking open the box and taking a look at the components. You'll find the instructions, 4 sets of 3 level cards of different difficulties, the encounter deck, the item deck, the gun deck, a reference card, as well as 2d6 and a bunch of different tokens, all colored. Your first step is to choose one of 3 gun cards to carry throughout the entire game. Next, place down your reference card and place a blue token at the top of the armor track. Next, build the gauntlet. Choose your preferred difficulty and shuffle all 4 of the level decks separately. Ensure that you stack the deck with the highest on the bottom and lowest value on top. The level on top of the deck is where you'll go next, and the encounter deck is built off of the list on top. Each encounter card is color-coded to match up with the included cubes. A rule of thumb: when you run out of cubes for a specific card, that card is taken out of rotation until the next level. Now, after sorting through all of the encounter cards, you can make this level's encounter deck by shuffling all of the chosen cards together. Next, reveal the level card. On the back side, you'll find the level grid, the walls, and all the symbols. On the green symbol, you'll want to place your blue character token. To put the encounter deck into play, draw from the top of the deck and place the color-coded cube down. You're going to want to do this for every single card, and once you place the cube, you'll want to put it on the bottom of the encounter deck until you run out of color-coded cubes for that specific card, after which it gets discarded. The mine is a perfect example. Also, if you notice, I'm going from top left to bottom right, scanning the entire grid and looking for those encounter points to place the tokens down. Continue this process until all of the encounter symbols are full. Then keep one of each card for a reference and you're ready to move on to gameplay. One level is played in back and forth rounds, where the player chooses one of 3 actions: sprint, shoot, item, and then every activated enemy moves as per their range and distance to the player. Let's break down each action individually. Sprint is the simplest of the actions. It allows you to move up to 4 spaces in any direction. Movement rules are applied the same to every single character in the game, player or enemy. You can move in all 8 directions around you, both diagonally and orthogonally. However, you cannot move diagonally over corners. So instead of using 1 move to go from one corner to another, you would use 2 to go around the corner. Enemies and the player are both treated like walls. They're solid objects. They can't be moved into and have to be gone around, using the same corner rules. The item action refers to you using item cards that you collect throughout the game. You find these item cards by picking them up on the map. Moving into or on the green item space immediately picks the item up. No need to spend any actions to do so. You draw from the top of the shuffled item deck and add it to your hand. There are 4 types of item card in the 5-card deck. Each of them have unique uses and times in which you're allowed to use them. Heck, some of them don't even need to be used during a dedicated item turn. The combat knife is used at the end of any turn you're adjacent to an enemy. Discard to immediately defeat that enemy. The armor plate, when used during an item turn, allows you to recharge 1 tick on your armor value. The boot pistol allows you to add 1 die to any roll with a weapon. And the energy drink doubles up your turn, essentially skipping the enemy round. The third and final option is shooting. You can move 3 spaces and shoot with your weapon before or after moving. In order to be able to shoot an enemy, you need to be within line of sight, meaning you don't have any of the dark gray walls or other enemies or targets in the way. Regardless of the grid, ensure you can draw a straight line between you and your target, and then you can shoot. Roll the dice as your weapon card tells you to, adding any additives or multipliers to it. Using proper positioning, items, and smart use of your weapons will allow you to overcome practically any challenge this game has to offer. Landmines, for instance, can be shot to deal damage and instantly eliminate all adjacent targets. And the big red breacher enemy types don't activate until you're in line of sight of them, and even then, their range is limited. It's a bit of a tactical chess game. Your goal of each level is simple. Clear the floor of all enemies and move on to the next one. However, note, if your armor hits the X on the track, the game is over instantly. And if you don't pick up a green item, by the time all the enemies are cleared out, you move on without taking it. Now, lastly, let's clarify some info on the movement and positioning in this game. Now, as a refresher, you can move in any cardinal direction, both diagonal and orthogonal. However, you can't jump corners or enemies. You have to take the time and actions to move around them, spending 2 moves instead of just 1 to get around. The same rules apply to the different enemy types, being restricted, however, by their speed and range. Their speed determines how many spaces they can move in a turn, and their range, how far they can shoot, so long as you're within, once again, line of sight. Now, when you go to attack, you'll be rolling dice. But what do those dice mean? If you remember, every enemy has an armor value, and every weapon has a different dice value. Your goal is to roll over the enemy's armor value when you shoot them. Not at, over. And when you do that, they're immediately out of the game. There's no health system. The only character that can take multiple hits is you. But just remember, you do have to roll over that value. Now remember, when it's time for enemy movement, they will activate in order from closest to furthest away from you, and will always take the most efficient path towards you, within their own limits and rules. So, there you have it, a quick and dirty tutorial on how to play Tiny Tin Tactics. 12 total levels, 4 difficulty levels, and a whole bunch of randomization will hopefully make for something you guys will be playing over and over again for a while. I hope you enjoy it, have fun, and I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Thank you.